Won in Cardiff by 3-1. Michael Reisinger, Jaap Stam, Arthur Newman and Dennis Bergkamp are the players who come in. Stan Fox has been dropped, Winston Bogarde is injured, Virkelau goes to the bench and Jordi Cruyff also out through injury. Very strong, very experienced Netherlands side, Tommy.
Well, this is probably as good as the Netherlands are going to get, and the fact that they've Baird come back, and of course Seedorf, I mean, a man who can dictate any game, Mike, one of the best players in the world.
So that's the lineup for the Netherlands, and let's have a look now at the Welsh lineup. They've made 3 changes, perhaps the most significant, Tommy. Number 4, Vinnie Jones from Wimbledon. Not only is he in the Welsh team, he's also the captain today.
Well, one of the crazy gang has finally made it big time, and Vinnie Jones very happy. But I think the biggest loss that Wales are going to suffer today is Mark Hughes up front. He's suspended today, a man who supplies a lot of power for them, and it'll be interesting to see how they go without him.
Yes, without Mark Hughes, John Hartson, the Arsenal striker, is the player that's come in. He's scored goals regularly for Wales at under-21 level, and now he's got to score them at full international level. It's a makeshift squad for Bobby Gould. So many injuries this week. Barry Horn is also out through injury. So for Wales, it really is an uphill struggle. Our referee is Vitor Milo Pereira from Portugal. Both linesmen also from that country. Vinnie Jones, I'm not quite sure what his Portuguese is like, but seems to be having quite a conversation there, Tommy, with the referee.
Well, if they had taken him, he probably would have ended up playing with him, Mike. He wanted to play with any international team, and Wales has become his adopted country, and now here he is captaining in Wales. So anything is possible in this old game, isn't it?
Wales in a change strip today of green and white was hitting the coach of the Netherlands, who had his birthday yesterday, in fact, turned 50. So he'll be looking for a belated birthday present in the shape of a victory here tonight. Edwin van der Sar, his 14th appearance today. It is 8 degrees. The weather is clear. The field is in good condition. It looks absolutely immaculate, doesn't it, Tommy?
Yes, it certainly does. There's no excuse for not playing good football on this field. A very compact stadium, 31,500 people. It's sold out today, so the Dutch will have a big crowd behind them. And as you can see, a lot of orange. It's almost appropriate for fall, isn't it? Everything is orange here in the Phillips Stadium.
3 there for Wales. Mark Pembridge, the Sheffield Wednesday player, as Wales get us underway, attacking the goal to our right in the first half. Wales, who have never beaten the Netherlands, this is their 5th meeting. And the Netherlands have won the previous 4. For a fast and furious start from Wales. So important, according to Vinnie Jones and to manager Bobby Gould, that they make their presence felt early in midfield. That's one of the men they're going to have to try to close down. Vignon, the player who's having such a great season this year with PSV Eindhoven.
Well, they'll also need a big game from Southall. I mean, he had the game of his life when they played at Cardiff. Some of the stops he made were just unbelievable. They'll be on highlight films in Wales for a good many years to come.
As we've seen in the last couple of English Premier League games on Monday nights, where we featured his club Everton, he's been in great form in club football as well. And you're right there, Tommy, he could be in for a very busy night.
This is a very snappy-looking outfit that the Welsh team have on tonight, isn't it?
And of course, the change because of the colour clash, Wales in their normal first choice strip, of course, is red. So it would have clashed with the orange of Holland. Won't play out that time. Newman got there first. Back there from Bergkamp. Of course, those two had such a great understanding when they were playing for Ajax before they both moved on to Inter Milan in Italy. Is Seedorf. This one through the centre forward channel. Slight miskick there with the clearance.
Oh, it's amazing. Going into the last game, I mean, the roles were reversed. I mean, Holland had the makeshift team. Wales were in good shape, and today, just Wales. There's really a patchwork of the regular team, Mike.
There's Bergkamp leads the attack for the Netherlands. Missed the game in Cardiff because of injury. Newman. Now Koku. Getting that one in. Wales getting it clear. too far. Here's Cocu again.
I think one of the players that the Netherlands might miss today is Bogart, the big man on the left-hand side. That could be a spot where Wales might try to do something.
Seedorf taking the throw quickly.
Well, we have the band anyhow. Everything's all right now. Once the band is struck up, we're in good shape.
Netherlands, of course, today strengthened by the return of Mark Overmars, who starts this game on the bench. Hasn't played since last December when he for Holland after that game against the Republic of Ireland. It was about a week after that he broke his leg. As this one is played through and Dean Saunders can't get on the end of that through pass. Van der Sar out very quickly.
Oh, nice positive keeping. Keeper reads this one from a long way out. A nice little ball here, and as I kind of expect that the left-hand side of the field is where Wales look like they're going to go, Mike, because they're going to try out that spot that Bogart would normally be in.
Of course, other good news for the Netherlands, besides the return of Mark Overmars, is that Patrick Kluivert back now playing first-team football with Ajax and scoring goals. Of course, if he can return to form and 100% fitness, will make this Netherlands side a very formidable team for this Group 7, Tommy.
Yeah, it certainly should. As you see, going to see a little bit of a trip here, and it's a battle of the sevens there. Aaron Winter is the man who goes down, taken out of it by young Bowen.
It's Jason Bowen, who plays for Birmingham City. It's his second appearance today for Wales.
Well, as long as the Netherlands team are in sync with one another, Mike, I mean, that's where they've had their problems. I mean, you go back to Euro 96 with the Davids thing, and there's still repercussions. Reisinger still doesn't talk to any of the Dutch press over it. We never really did find out exactly what happened, but there's still a little bit of recrimination over what happened in Euro 96.
The throw for the Netherlands on the far side. It's Bergkamp. By three players, still manages to get clear. Now it's play back. Seedorf scudging that pass. Newman. With Seedorf again. Throw. The ball came off of Clarence Seedorf to be taken there by Mark Bowen.
Oh, Seedorf has written a little piece of history for himself. The youngest player ever to make a debut for Ajax in the first team, 16 years of age. I don't think they'll get one much younger than that.
Never be quite sure with Ajax. They've got so much great young talent. 16 is perhaps about the right age if you're going to bring them in. Any less than that, the problem. And could be a problem there for Neville Southall. He slid out of the penalty area, but he kept the ball in.
Oh, and Clarence Seedorf, the man we were just talking about, he was in on top of him. And it looked like that ball just kept going away from Southall all the time. He did a good job not to commit the foul by slipping out of the box, Mike. He would have been in trouble.
Moving on that far side. Aaron Winter. The best of clearances there from Van der Sar, but falls now to the feet of Newman. Showed too much of that. Vinnie Jones got there first. Southall there just caught in two minds. Now Cocu. Cambridge. One for Hartson to chase. That's an awkward one for Van der Sar. Did he stop it going for a corner?
I don't believe so. I'd say it's a corner, but it will be interesting to see what the referee's assistant comes up with. I don't think he managed to get it before it went over the line.
You're right. We're in tune this time, Tommy, with the referee's assistant. Now Mark Pembridge has come across to take it. Vinnie Jones has gone forward, taking up a position, in fact, at the near post. Pembridge with the corner, curling it towards that near post, the back header. Van der Sar pushing the ball clear, but also getting pushed himself. And that results in a free kick.
Oh, I think Andy Melville is the man who's inside, who's going to get... He's going to be called for the free, but it was a dangerous-looking ball. It was floating there. You know, Van der Sar he is capable of having a bad day, Mike. Psychologically, sometimes he drops himself out of games. I mean, he's a very, very good keeper, good technical keeper. He knows how to play the box, but sometimes he just loses concentration a little bit.
Koku, who operates in midfield, but so dangerous down the left-hand side. Neville Southall again, a bit of trouble with his clearances. That's the second one he won't be happy with. 38-year-old goalkeeper who made his debut back in 1982. Van der Sar, how's that for cool play, Tommy?
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. I mean, he's good on the feet, he's good with his hands, he's good in the air, and he just took the ball away there. I mean, that was like a real good libero player back there.
Played forward that time by Melville. And Hartson. Caught offside. Well, here we're going to have a look at that, and Hartson came screaming in there.
Van der Sar said, "No way, Jose."
Play through and looking for Dennis Bergkamp.
Trying to get the Mexican wave going here in the Phillips Stadium. Clearance this time from Southall. Aaron Pinter. Well, if you go back to the last game, there's an attempt at the wave, Mike. They're really, well, they're starting to pick it up a little bit. If you go back to the last game, I mean, Holland had all kinds of problems with Wales until they took on the sub. I mean, Wales really played them very tough. And this is setting out to be the same kind of a game. James
Saunders winning the challenge in midfield. Clear. Now Hartson. Epstein, the player close to him. All whipped across quickly and safely taken there by Van der Sar. Van der Sar there finishing up past the penalty spot. He actually caught it inside the 6-yard box. More World Cup action here on ESPN, and coming right up after this game we'll be bringing you the World Cup qualifier between Austria and Latvia from the Tapel Stadium in Vienna. ESPN committed to bringing you all the best on the road to World Cup 98. But it's just something, a good point, Mike, the point you made about the keeper there. No referees ever call these steps on the keepers anymore, and I mean, they can take as many steps nowadays as they like. It's Reisiger. Hard and low. Neville Southall had the angles right. Michael Reisiger, who has never scored for the Dutch national team. Well, he's not talking to the press, but it hasn't affected his game, Annie. Look at this. Little short hopper inside. Southall does very well to keep that one out. That was a little screamer. Watson there tangling with the defender. Watson saying he was held. Referee wasn't interested. Who was clashing with there was the captain of the Netherlands side, Frank de Boer. Played across and no risk taken at the back that time. Alan Nielsen, who plays for Southampton, actually born in Germany. This is just his 5th appearance for Wales, just conceding the corner. Now Vimion. Laying this one back. Great save there by Southall. The shot coming in from Arthur Newman. 2 PSV players combined in there, and Vimion unable to get past Vinnie Jones. Another corner, but some slack marking there from Wales, and they were nearly punished, Tommy. No marking at all on the corner kick. They took it short, get back out of the box. Tremendous save. Vimion this time with a more conventional corner. It's in the near post. Wales get it clear. Look at that for a back bouncer. Did it hit the fence? It hit the fence. You're going to see this. Look at the short corner taken. Nobody picks him up. He comes up. He has the free shot. This is a tremendous save. Look at that. Cross with a one hand. Southall starting off where he left off the last day, Mike. Seedorf. Nice 1-2 there. Seedorf trying this shot. Again, Neville Southall comes up with a big save. Well, we said at the beginning he might be busy. We didn't realise
realise he was going to be this busy. I mean, this is a tremendous save. Look at the shot by Cedar. Southall gets his boot to it.
That was curling, it was dipping. And from the corner, Bergkamp unable to get on the end of it. Now Seedorf.
That was an interesting matchup, wasn't it? Bergkamp and Hartson was the man who came and took it away from him. The two of them played together with Arsenal in England. Here they are battling again.
Well, Wales at the moment under a lot of pressure. Lumen. From Young looking to switch play to that far side. Reisiger. Aaron Winter. Now Seedorf. And again Neville Southall denies the player from Real Madrid for the second time in the space of some 2 minutes.
Well, he's about 500 games played for Everton. Great experience. Look at this. Seedorf breaks in between two players, takes a nice little pass, gets the shot on. Southall's earned his pay already today, Mike.
Southall, who this week came out and said that he doesn't have many hobbies, and he's not playing and training at Everton. He tries to help the development of world football, something that concerns him. As we see Jason Bowen brought down.
Oh, Vinnie Jones and Neville Southall to have something in common. Jones has been sent off 14 times in his career, and Southall has played for 14 years with Everton. So 14 is a popular number.
It will be Vinnie Jones. Driving that one to the far post, the header down. And off target. Coming in there was Gary Speed.
Oh, Gary Speed picking that one up on the far post, and we just got a shot there earlier. The whole bench, including the sub-goalkeeper, is off. Look at them. Here they are. They're all... I think it's a case of trying to keep warm, Mike, is it? They don't all expect to go on, do they?
Stand on the far side. And here on ESPN, we're at the Philips Stadium in Eindhoven. This is the Road to World Cup 98 from European Group 7. It's the Netherlands against Wales. And Netherlands going close, but Neville Southall denying Dennis Bergkamp. And as we come up to the 15-minute mark, it is still Holland 0, the Netherlands 0, Wales 0, but thanks to some great goalkeeping from Neville Southall.
Oh yeah, the beautiful ball fed inside. Look at this, Bergkamp picks it up. Absolutely no defending being done at all, and Southall has to come up with a big save again. That's at least 5. Realistically, at this stage in the game, it could be 5-0 to the Netherlands. There it is, 5 shots on goal. I was counting them as I went along, and it could be 5-0, Mike.
And Bassar taking that one comfortably. It's Wim Jonk. Wales getting under pressure. This is Jason Bowen.
Oh, they look terrible at the back.
Yes, and here come the Netherlands. Right across the face of goal from Bergkamp. Well, Dennis Bergkamp's missed so much of the season with Arsenal because of injury. Missed the game in Cardiff.
Oh, he's putting on a clinic here. He's going to take the pass there nicely from Jonk. Jonk is the man who's the architect in midfield. Bergkamp breaks in and then he fires it. He fires it wide of the far post. Look at this, a beautiful pass right into the box, slipped through. Bergkamp coming in on the right-hand side. He just can't find that post. Tremendous effort from Bergkamp. Southall did well enough to keep the angle cut down for him.
Well, Dennis Bergkamp and Wim Jonk had a great understanding when they were both playing at Ajax before their transfer. They used to say that they knew where each other was going to be without even having to look. They had those telepathic powers. And certainly we've seen shades of it today that they really are still on the same wavelength, although they haven't played together now for some time.
Well, I think that a kind of partnership went sour when they went to Italy, didn't it? They never really produced the goods.
Wim Jonk was omitted from Euro 96 squad. But now they're back together again and already starting to cause Wales a few problems. Although Wales here now get a free kick right on the halfway line.
Oh, there's a bit of blood for you. Mr. De Boer has taken an elbow on the lips already.
Yes, that's Frank De Boer. The younger of the two De Boer twins, in fact. Dean Saunders. And picked up there by Aaron Vinter. Free kick is taken. You can hear the voice of Vinnie Jones.
Vinnie, come and take it! Come and take it!
And Bobby Gould up on his feet. Well, the instructions there very clearly to Vinnie Jones, come and take it.
Down the line, he's telling him to throw it. He wants him to throw it down along the line. That's exactly where he did.
Straight to Martha Newman. Now Vinter. Seedorf. Well, just happy to get it away from the danger area. Hartson is penalised for the challenge on Frank De Boer.
Well, you could hear Bobby Gould having a go at Vinnie. Of course, Vinnie's selected by the players today, and apparently he takes it very lightly. He said on Dutch television that he might drink a few beers before the game, go out and play some football, and maybe drink a few beers after the game. You're right, Vinnie. Enjoy it while you can.
Also said that was the proudest moment of his career. Selected by his fellow professionals. Now Seedorf. Here's Wim Jonk. And just wide from Jonk. Oh, Wim Jonk plays his club football here. And Neville Southall, a wry smile as that one goes just inches wide.
Oh, we're looking at the flat back four that Wales are playing, and it's non-existent. Look at the little run through Jonk with the shot. They're having so many great opportunities. Watch this, a little step over, beautiful play by Bergkamp, and he lets it run on to Jonk, and Jonk doesn't get the whole lot of it. Just flashes it wide of the post. But you see the way Bergkamp stepped over it.
Yes, and again, it's that understanding between those two.
He knew exactly where he was going to be, that he was going to be there backing him up.
Yep, Stan winning that challenge in the air. Vinnie Jones got there first, but now they come Holland again. The swift attacks causing a lot of problems for Wales. Melville that time playing it back to Southall.
Bobby Gould does a lot of shouting, doesn't he, Mike? I mean, you can pick him up all over the place.
He's shouting from the sideline, and Vinnie Jones really making himself heard on the pitch itself.
He's got a feel that even coming in here, Mike, that Wales would have been happy enough with a draw. But certainly the way that things have gone in the first 20 minutes, they'd be gloriously happy to get out of here with a draw.
Here's Seedorf. Vinnie Jones is also quoted. He's been making a lot of quotes this week, and just last night, in fact, quoted as saying that if Wimbledon can be in the top four in the Premier League and can beat teams that they shouldn't beat, there's no reason why Wales shouldn't beat the Netherlands, as we see that challenge from Andy Melville, which results in this free kick. Five-man war.
This could be the biggest danger yet to Wales. Set pieces.
Well, Wim Jonk is such a good striker of the ball. And of course, we all know the exploits of Frank De Boer. So many options for the Netherlands. This one is played through and then laid back. Southall comes up with a big stop the first time, but not the second. And Dennis Bergkamp is on hand. Neville Southall is beaten. Dennis Bergkamp, the goal scorer.
Oh, and he makes the first good save. Look at the ball played back nicely. Southall makes the save, and Bergkamp puts it in. His 26th international goal for Holland. The free originally taken, coming up to it there. That's Wim Jonk. He gets it in short. It's going to be played back. and the first shot originally comes from the ball, coming onto it. Dennis Bergkamp is the man who's going to run onto the end of it, and he's going to put it away. He reacts much quicker than anybody else. So you had Young, De Boer and Bergkamp involved, and the ball eventually ends up in the net. 26 goals. That's a nice international strike, Mike.
Goal coming in the 22nd minute. The Netherlands 1, Wales 0.
Oh, we were just after getting through, saying it could be the most dangerous situation that Wales has faced, and exactly, the Netherlands used it to perfection.
I think the Welsh defence were expecting a direct shot coming in from Wim Jonk, and in the end it seemed that the move that came straight from the training field. Now Hartson, and that one down the line, looking for Dean Saunders. Now Speed, in trouble with that pass, in fact. Got it down by Bergkamp. Seedorf. This is Cocu. Seedorf. Seedorf looking for the penalty. Well, you can hear the reaction from the home crowd, which is predictable.
Well, I think there is a little bit of interference inside of the box. I'm not sure how clear-cut it was. Cocu was trying to pick out Seedorf on the far side.
Hartson playing that one through. And good covering play there by Aaron Winter. And Michael Reisinger also back there. And it was played behind Dean Saunders, and if anything, it seemed to put off the Netherlands defence. A long throw to be taken, no doubt, by Vinnie Jones. Looking for the flick on at the near post. And in the end, it was Gary Speed who had the final shot.
Oh, he should have put it away, Mike. It fell to him perfectly, right in front of the box. Just outside of the 6-yard box. He should have put that one in the net.
Kit Simons was the player at the near post.
Oh, I think the crowd are still whistling over that missed penalty call on the opposite end they feel.
Well, the Welsh with some good vocal support who have come across the North Sea.
Even brought cheerleaders with them by the looks of things. Balding ones.
Well, clearance met there. Hartson on that far side. Quite a tussle with Jaap Stam. That came off the Dutch player, although the guys would have seen it differently. So it will be a throw then for the Netherlands. One of the interesting spectators, Louis van Gaal, ex-coach until the end of the season. And his destination, all reports are to be believed, will be the San Siro in charge of AC Milan. Bergkamp. Aaron Winter. Young. Newman. This is Frank de Boer. Usual, almost lazy ball forward from Frank de Boer, but picks out his twin brother Ronald. Now Reisinger. And a good turn of pace there for Michael Reisinger. In the end, Wales have to concede a corner.
Well, Reisinger likes to push forward. I mean, every opportunity he's getting, Mike, and I suppose if you have a weak part in the defense, why not try to exploit it? I mean, he had a tremendous shot earlier.
Corner comes across. Wales get it clear only as far as Seedorf. Young. This is Ronald de Boer cutting this one back. Young with the shot, it's blocked. Young that time denied by the defender getting in the way of that shot, but Neville Southall at the moment must feel he's at a shooting range, Tommy.
Oh, he certainly must. I mean, he's getting no protection at all. I mean, and Jonk, who has had so many opportunities, he only scored 8 goals internationally. I mean, today he could have had 3 or 4, and Bergkamp, well, you're going to see, is it offside call? That's a good call. Bergkamp is still onside. Bergkamp is now 8 goals and behind the leader in Holland internationally, Wilkes. So if Bergkamp gets 8 more, he'll be the all-time leader internationally. You have to feel with his age and his potential, he might score those 8 goals today, Mike, the way things are going. Holland or Wales certainly hope he won't, but you never know. I mean, he's had 4 good opportunities already. And here they come again.
What's wrong with the ball, playing that one in. Big kick goes against Dean Saunders, the player chasing back. Winter, rising up. Jim Yonk playing that one through, and Dennis Bergkamp was being obstructed.
Well, as you said, he's had a lot of problems this year with injuries, but certainly he looks like he's on song at the moment.
A lot of opportunity for Jim Yonk from this free kick. Neville Southall trying to organise his defence. It's floated in this time. Hartson goes for the ball. And then a missed kick on the edge of the penalty area. Saunders plays this one wide. And play down the line for Jason Bowen. Reisiger and come across. Reisiger played in a bit of trouble that time by Frank de Boer. But the Netherlands have got their way out of it so well. And now Ronald de Boer. Faced there by Arne Nielsen, still Ronald de Boer, keeps the ball in play, and then no power with the cross. An easy one there for Neville Southall, but marvellous play that from the Netherlands, from one end to the other. And Neville Southall is not too happy at the moment with his defenders.
No, you didn't have to be an expert to realise the way the man's feeling, and you can't really blame him. I mean, de Boer walked in that time.
You're watching the Road to World Cup 98 here on ESPN from the Philips Stadium in Eindhoven. This match from European Group 7, where Dennis Bergkamp scored in the 22nd minute to give the Netherlands a 1-0 lead over Wales. With Tommy Smith, I'm Mike Hill. It's 1-0, Tommy. It could have been so many more.
Oh, there's no question about it. I mean, Netherlands have had so many clear-cut opportunities, but for Southall, it certainly would be an awful lot more. I mean, this defence is non-existent.
Now, here comes Cocu, and again Neville Southall comes up with a big save, denying Philip Cocu.
But Southall's asking questions, and rightly so. Watch this. I mean, terrible play here. The ball knocked down right into the path of Cocu, and look at Andy Melville. What is he moving away from him for? He gives him a clear opportunity. I mean, he took the wrong cut on him, Mike.
Wim Jonk with the corner to the far post. They get it clear. And now Jonk again, floating this one in. And in the end, just nodded back to Neville Southall. No wonder he's puffing and blowing, Tommy.
Needs a bit of oxygen, quick. Nice soft header back to him by Mark Bowen. Kind of took the pressure off for a few minutes.
Neville Southall, one of the real characters in the English Premier League, of course. Started life as a dustman.
One of the games he came out at half-time, didn't like what was going on in the dressing room, and sat himself down at the post and spent the whole half-time sitting in them alongside of the goal.
Yes, and despite all the money he's made out of the game, it was only 12 months ago that he got his first car. He used to go to training on his bike.
Amazing man. I mean, when he left the cup in the dressing room, and he went home, left the rest of them there to celebrate when they won the FA Cup.
More World Cup qualifying action here on ESPN. Tomorrow it's Luxembourg against Russia. You'll be able to see that game here on ESPN. An important game that for Russia. Not only they've got to win, but they also need to score a few goals. And they come up against Luxembourg as ESPN continues on the road to World Cup 98. And here at the moment it's the Netherlands very much on that road at the moment. Completely steamroller in Wales. And they've got another corner.
Poor Vinnie Jones is having a problem in the centre of that defence, Mike. They're just dropping the ball in around and behind him, and he doesn't have a lot of support, so it's a difficult day for him.
Young goes across to take the corner. Outswinger this time. Nobody challenging the ball from the Netherlands. Here's Seedorf. Jonk. Southall again comes up with a big save. Koku nods that one back. Seedorf. Goal number 2. Well, Southall stopped 2. He couldn't stop the 3rd from Ronald de Boer.
Oh, Southall is like a player that's shell-shocked out there, Mike. I mean, he had so many good saves here. Watch this, Seedorf with the banger. Here's the ball, nodded back out again, and there's, look at that, almost lifted the roof of the net from de Boer. Seedorf with the strike from the left foot. De Boer's inside once again. Andy Melville is there standing like a statue, doesn't make a move at all. And you got to feel sorry for Southall. He's doing everything right, but that's terrible play.
Boer's goal coming in the 33rd minute. He scored 1 in Wales. He's now scored 1 here in Eindhoven. It's the Netherlands 2, Wales 0. And here come the Netherlands again. This is Philip Koku. Bergkamp teeing this one up. It's 3.
I think the route is on. Jonk is the man who races through.
Oh, Wim Jonk there, and a disconsolate Neville Southall. Wim Jonk, who plays his football here at the Eindhoven Stadium. And this time it was set up for him by Dennis Bergkamp.
Oh yeah, he just hits it right to him, and there's no place like home sweet home, is there? And he knocks that one right into the net. Look at this, Koku with the ball across. Bergkamp lines it up. He knows where Jonk is coming. Look at that for a burst of speed. And there's the bulge in the old onion bag as Jonk puts the number 3 in the net. Tremendous goal, tremendous speed by Jonk. Look at no reaction from the defenders. He's in a foot race with himself, and he gets there before Southall. Beautiful, beautiful goal.
The goal coming in the 34th minute. The Netherlands 3, Wales 0.
Oh, that's Jonk's 9th international goal. I mean, they're really on a tally today. The board has scored in the last 3 games that the Netherlands have played in. They're bringing everything good with them today, Mike. This is a very, very tough-looking Netherlands team. I mean, this man knows exactly what has happened here.
Oh, Bobby Gould silent at the moment. We saw Gus Hiddink. As we told you, it was his 50th birthday yesterday. This a belated birthday present, but not only are they leading by 3-0, I think that will please him, Tommy, is the way the team is playing together. They really are playing as a team.
Oh, this is absolutely sparkling stuff. I mean, they're just stroking the ball around. They know exactly where everybody's going to be on the field. The understanding between these players out here for international level is incredible.
Koku this time with the cross. Melville with the clearance, only as far as Seedorf. Jason Bowen that time was pulled down.
I mean, if you could get a team to play like this in the final of the World Cup, Mike, you'd certainly be doing some celebrating afterwards.
Bobby Gould knew it was always going to be a tough task with his team, even his first choice team, it would have been difficult. Gus Hiddink.
Mind you, the expression on both men's faces, you'd never know that the other man was 3-0 up, would you? I mean, Bobby Gould looked like he's in pain, but Hiddink, well, he still hasn't broken into a smile.
Now Dean Saunders. Away by Jonk. Vinnie Jones there just pulling down Clarence Seedorf. And very, very calmly done there by Vinnie Jones. He decided to talk to the referee because the Netherlands, in fact, had taken a quick free kick. I think he's talking to us, got him a yellow card, but he'll be happy because it could have been another goal for the Netherlands.
Well, Vinnie Jones has made a a career out of getting yellow cards, and I mean, he's having a disastrous day today. I mean, Seedorf is taking him to the cleaners. Vinnie Jones looks like a second or third division player out there today, Mike. He's just not fitting in with this international cast at all.
Perhaps in his defence, though, Tommy, nobody from Wales is really playing up to the form that one would expect, certainly in midfield or at the back. We haven't seen anything of Dean Saunders and John Hartson up front. They haven't had any service so far. And as Van der Sar that time got there before Saunders.
Well, no matter how good you are up front, if the men at the back can't get you the ball, there's no point you playing. I mean, I don't think Mark Prembridge has got a touch on the ball yet at all back there for Wales.
Dean Jones with the long throw. Hartson there trying to nod that one down. It wouldn't quite fall for Dean Saunders. There's Michael Reisiger with the clearance. Now Speed. Gets the ball back. Saunders. That's better from Wales. Speed trying to get behind, and it was the speed, in fact, from Michael Reisiger that got there first. Wales, though, have got a corner. Dean Saunders, who has scored goals throughout his career, he really hasn't had a sniff tonight so far. Corner comes across. Header at the far post. And a looping header there from Kit Simons from Manchester City. And he goes just over the crossbar. The picture there says 1,000 words, doesn't it, Tommy?
Certainly does. And
well, ESPN's coverage of the Champions League continues on November the 20th, match day 5. And our live game will be the game from Old Trafford between Manchester United and Juventus. And we'll be following that up with same-day coverage of the game from Group D, AC Milan and Porto. As Hartson plays this one across, and Saunders. Well, he made that yard of space. And Wales have pulled a goal back. Van der Sar is beaten. And the small band of Welsh supporters at last have something to cheer about, Tommy.
well, you can see Hartson is the man who squares it across. Dean Sanders is coming, hits it on the left foot. Van der Sar gets the hand to it, but it just rolls itself into the corner of the net. Perfect ball from Hartson. Little bit of slack marking at the back, and look at that. Van der Sar's beating. He's just heading in the wrong direction, and Dean Sanders puts it into the net.
Well, for Dean Saunders, his 20th international goal for Wales, his 4th of this World Cup campaign. The Netherlands 3, Wales 1. With now less than 5 minutes to go to half-time. And time for the band to strike up again. Gus Hiddink will not be happy with his defenders that time, Tommy, because they really seem to go to sleep.
No, he wouldn't. He certainly wouldn't. And I mean, Hiddink himself, he's gotten a big offer from Real Zaragoza, we understand, during the week, but he's committed to coaching Holland through '98 until they finished their run in the World Cup. But there's speculation that he might take it, Mike.
We'll give him away that time. And then Wales do exactly the same thing, giving the ball away. Wales, who have only made the the finals of the World Cup once, that was back in 1958. And they were what was termed then as a lucky loser. They qualified by having to play against Israel after, in fact, they had been eliminated in their group play. And when they got to Sweden, they surprised everybody. They made it through to the quarter-finals, losing to Brazil by 1-0. A certain Pelé, at 17 years old, was the player who scored that goal in Gothenburg.
Well, he says it was the biggest and most important goal he ever scored for Brazil.
It was his first one in the World Cup final series, so I'm sure he'll remember that.
I'm sure the Welsh folks remember it too, because had they gotten through that day, Mike, who knows?
Dimjonk with the corner to the near post, ball headed clear. Another corner.
Well, the whole squad is up, warming up again. Once they scored, Bobby Gold told them all to get out and run again.
Another corner for the Netherlands. This time a variation. He lays this one back. And the kick there completely sliced. Finished up as a good pass, in fact.
Well, that's the second time that Wales have been caught on that corner, Mike, and had the shot been a good one, they might have been in trouble.
The Netherlands, they're passing so crisp. They seem to be able to find their players with ease. They always seem to find them where they've got a yard or so of space. Ronald de Boer.
Well, it becomes a whole lot easier, doesn't it, when you're leading 3-1? Those passes just seem to fall into place for you.
Jim Yonk that time giving the ball away. Bergkamp. Started the Netherlands on their way with the goal in the 22nd minute. 3 goals in the Netherlands in the space of 12 minutes has really changed the whole complexion of this World Cup qualifier. Take the ball. Pass it back.
Well, the Welshmen are trying to get their team going, Mike.
They certainly need all the encouragement they can get at the moment. Bobby Gore will be looking to get this team in at half-time and make a few subtle changes. Certainly they've got to do something in midfield because the Dutch have really dominated, haven't they, Tommy?
Oh yeah, coming right down the middle. I mean, here's the path to destruction as far as the Netherlands are concerned. I mean, they've been walking right down there. Look at that, right down the middle again.
Seedorf, and that time the sliding challenge denies Clarence Seedorf. The Netherlands do get another corner. More problems for Wales. They've had trouble defending these corners throughout this game.
Well, that face there tells a lot of stories too. I mean, look at the perspiration coming off the keeper, Mike, and it's anything but a warm day here.
Yonk then with the corner, the back header. Goal number 4. And it's scored by the captain, Frank de Boer. I don't think he knew too much about it, Tommy. It came off the top of his head. I think he was as surprised as everybody when it finished up in the back of the net.
It certainly was. That's only his second international goal. And as you just pointed out, Wales having unbelievable problems with the corner kicks. Look at this. He just nods it. He doesn't know where it goes, but it goes into the back of the net. Beautiful goal. Everybody's getting involved here. Look at Frank de Boer. He judges it perfectly, gets the header on it. Looks like a very pretty goal. He's going to tell you he knew exactly where it was going, but I'd be surprised if he did.
The goal coming in the 45th minute. Neville Southall is beaten for the 4th time. The Netherlands 4, Wales 1.
But once again, it was the path right down the middle, Mike. Then they had to try to get it out of there to give away the corner, and from the ensuing corner kick to give up the goal. I think Bobby Gore's got to make a change at halftime. He's got to take somebody out of there.
I think basically, so he needs to make about 10 changes if possible.
Well, I'm sure he'd love to make it, but I think that Nielsen is having terrible problems back there, and so is Pembridge, the number 2 and 3 players. That's certainly not helping Vinnie Jones's cause.
Team we've got is that this Netherlands side is very fast, very fluent in midfield, and they're really just bypassing the Welsh midfield. The best thing to do is lock half of them in the dressing room. That might be the only solution that Bobby Gold might have. Van der Sar, as we go into stoppage time at the end of this first half, has got to face this corner from free kick from Pembridge. Takes it quite comfortably.
And the Dutch supporters are doing to the Wales supporters just what they need, Mike. Look at the bright side of life. They're singing to them. Is there a bright side to this?
Seedorf. Well, some of the defensive work for Wales is straight out of Monty Python, in fact. Well, it's been a convincing first 45 minutes. Bergkamp opened the scoring. Ronald de Boer scored 11 minutes later. Within 60 seconds, Yonk made it 3-0. Dean Saunders pulled one back for Wales, and then right on the stroke. There seems to be no problems out there today for them. There's Dennis Bergkamp and Ronald de Boer, two players who prepare to get the second half underway, who both got their names on the score sheet. The Netherlands now attacking the goal to our right in this second half. An early touch for Edwin van der Sar, who didn't have too much to do in the first half. It'll be interesting to see if Bobby Gould can change some tactics out there and perhaps make this Welsh side a bit more competitive in the second 45-minute period.
Well, if he can, I think he's going to be a magician, Mike, because I really don't see a whole lot of hope for them. Not just because of the way they're playing, but the way that the Netherlands are playing.
Seedorf denied there by the stretched body of Neville Southall, who came out bravely. Newman was the player who opened up the defence on that far side. Neville Southall, his 89th appearance today for Wales.
Seedorf is having a tremendous game for himself, Mike. Not alone is he running the midfield, but he's also very much involved in the attack.
The player who's got through a lot of work today is Wim Jonk in midfield.
Oh yeah,
having a great game as well.
Very classy looking.
Vinnie Jones picking out Hartson. Gary Speed trying to play that to the far post. Nobody there for Wales.
Well, I think the Netherlands' biggest problem now is, Mike, that they don't let up. You know, you come out leading 4-1 at half-time, you're inclined to let up a little bit, and a mistake or two at the back could cause big problems for them. They got to keep pushing forward.
John Hartson. Hartson driving that one across and met there by Frank de Boer. Owen Vinter that time with some nice control at the back. Seedorf lays it off. All played in there by Ronald de Boer. Nobody making the run for the Netherlands. Yes, complacency could be the biggest enemy for the Dutch team. One thing you're sure of, Sonny, that any team that has Vinnie Jones in it is going to need to keep trying for the whole 90 minutes. Doesn't matter what the scoreboard says.
Well, they're definitely playing their hearts out there. They don't bother reading the scoreboard, and you can see the Dutch are saying, you know, they're complaining to one another a little bit, and that's a good sign, I mean, for the team. I mean, they still want to keep going forward. The board there saying the ball should have been played to me properly.
See if Gus Hiddink does make some changes in the second half.
When you look at all the coaches in Holland, you look at Advocate and Louis van Gaal, and then you look over and you see the Hiddink on the bench doing the job for the national team, Mike. It's just, you know, a man who really is not such a big household name as like either of the two aforementioned coaches.
I think Advocate really wasn't all that well known in the football world, not even too well known in Holland until he actually got the national coaching job.
I understand he just signed a nice contract this week for another 2 years, so he has job security for a while anyhow.
Yes, and of course his team, PSV, currently top in Holland this season. There's Newman. Koku. Newman again. Now Philip Koku. Here's de Boer. Stopped on his way through that time. Jason Bowen in the ball clear, but only as far as Frank de Boer. Jonk. Seedorf. Clarence Seedorf, Tommy, he's just so quick over those first 2 yards, isn't he? He's got this explosive pace.
And I mean, even when the ball drops down, you say to yourself, he has absolutely no chance of getting to it. And the first boot that arrives on the ball is Seedorf's. And I mean, it's very difficult to ride him off a ball too. I mean, he's built low to the ground. He's got a lot of lower body strength.
Newman just failing to keep the ball in on that far side. It will be a throw to Wales. Saunders. Play through looking for Hartson. Now here comes Gary Speed. Time to measure his cross. One that swings away from the goalkeeper, and Saunders gets on the end of it. Well, he had to take the chance there of hitting it first time. It was just a bit too high for him.
Yeah, it certainly was. He had the opportunity, and I'm just looking out at the boards out there and realising that both of them have scored, Mike. I wonder when was the last time the Twins scored internationally for any team. I mean, that's a good question to look up on the record books. I'm not sure I ever heard of Twins scoring on an international game before.
Well, both teams have got substitutes warming up. Pierre van Hooijdonk was one of the substitutes warming up there for the Netherlands. Of course, he came on in Cardiff and promptly scored a couple of goals. Van der Sar. Vinnie Jones, one of the players over the ball, as is Mark Pembridge. It's a two-man wall. It's Pembridge. Bounced awkwardly, and Van der Sar was able to deal with it quite well.
Oh, a nice left-footed drive from Pembridge. He gets it around everybody. Good drive on the ball, Mike. Takes that little short hopper in there. Almost finds the keeper out. Pembridge, of course, he plays with a couple of Dutch players. He plays with Trustveld and Reggie Blinker, right?
Yes, both at Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday, after a bright start of the season, falling away a little bit in the English Premier League. Marvin Young. Aaron Winter. All play through. And the shot coming in, Southall was able to block it to deny Ronald de Boer.
What a pass, but I mean, it was just taken out of the air and put on de Boer's foot.
Young plays it behind the defence.
Well, you can see the Netherlands are not pushing as many players forward as they did in the first half. I mean, in the first half they were swarming around that edge of the box. Not anymore.
Speed. Hartson. Swan is chasing through. It's Van der Sar gets there first. Van Hooijdonk still has his few problems up at his club in Scotland with Celtic. Not quite seen eye to eye with Tommy Burns, the Celtic manager.
Well, if he scores another two today when he comes on, I mean, this is really going to be a huge scoreline.
Cambridge there with a good challenge to stop Seedorf, and now it's Saunders. Amsterdam got there first.
Well, you can see that Bobby Gold did a good job at half-time, Mike. Wales are playing with an awful lot more commitment at the back. But of course, the fact that Holland are keeping players at home is helping their cause.
Well, of course, it caused a surprise 24 hours ago in Breda. And these two countries met in an under-21 international. Holland had beaten Wales in Wales last month by 2-0, but Wales last night surprised them in Breda, winning 1-0. Simon Hayworth scoring the goal in the 7th minute, and Wales hung on for a victory. So they were hoping that perhaps miracles would happen twice. Here's the ball. Good challenge there from Alan Nielsen.
Oh, Nielsen stayed well with the board that time, but here to come again.
Rising up. Shot straight up in the air. On Philip Cocu. No worries there for Neville Southall. Lumen plays it forward. Cocu. Two players who play at this ground for PSV Eindhoven.
Cocu gets through an awful lot of work, doesn't he?
Yes, he's a good player, Philip Cocu. A lot of people are saying he could be the next big money move from Dutch football to either Italy or to Spain. Jonk. Bergkamp. Jonk. Here's the ball. Winter. Well, Aaron Winter couldn't get his shot on target, but again that marvellous byplay with Jonk and Bergkamp, which set up the chance.
Oh, great opportunity, and you can see what he was trying to do. He was trying to hit it off the side of his foot and trying to put it into that top right-hand corner, but misses by a couple of feet.
And the Southall's goal again is under siege. Just over 10 minutes gone of this second half. Now Hartson. It's not Hartson, it's Mark Pembridge. He'll use his pace down this near touch line. As Wales now plan to make a substitution. Activity on the bench. Kept in on the far side. It will be a throw then to Wales. More World Cup qualifying action here on ESPN as we follow the happenings in CONCACAF when the USA entertain Trinidad and Tobago. For the USA, it's their second match in World Cup qualifying, and you'll be able to see that here on Monday on ESPN. Check your local listings for times. Seedorf that time, his first touch letting him down. And that just allowed Mark Pembridge to get in. Seedorf himself taking the shot. So the throw. Vignon taking the shot in the end. It finishes up wide.
Oh, it was an awkward looking shot, wasn't it? I mean, Wim Jonke was just completely off balance when he hit it, and yet no, he still gets a good he gets a good bit of wood on it.
Overmars has also been warming up on the sideline, and there in fact is Mark Overmars. He's going to come on, and Aaron Vinter I think is the player that's going to come off. In fact, it's going to be Ronald de Boer. So Ronald de Boer comes off, Mark Overmars comes on, and getting a tremendous reception. And there's also been a change for Wales. I think Jason Bowen is the player that's come off.
John Robinson's come on, Mike, wearing number 14 for Wales.
Yes, John Robinson. He's already scored one goal in qualifying. As we look at the confirmations of both substitutions.
Oh, we had two 14s that we mentioned in the first half. Now we have two 14s players coming on. Overmars, as you said, Mike, you're right. That was his last game against the Republic of Ireland when Netherlands qualified for Euro 96 at Anfield. December 13th, I believe.
I'm sure you'd remember that, Tommy.
For a long time.
So now with Mark Overmars on, it does give some balance to this Netherlands side. There goes Overmars, trying to go through the middle and trying to be picked out there by Wim Jonk. Jonk again. And pressure on defenders. Southall with the clearance. Holland at the moment camped in the Welsh half.
Well, of course, that's what bringing Overmars does now. I mean, it changes the dimension. It gives them a wider dimension. Plus, it also brings a player onto the field, Mike, who's hungry to score because he wants to get a spot back in this team. So he's not going to be coming here playing at half gear. He's going to be playing full out.
Mark Overmars, this is his 30th international appearance. It's hard to comprehend, Tommy, that he's still only 23 years old. I mean, we've been talking about him, it seems, for so long.
Yeah, it seems like he's been around for years and years and years, but as you said, still a lot of miles left on those legs if he can keep them healthy. That would be the big problem for him. And see, has he lost any of his confidence? That's the big question that he has to really answer to everybody, because that was a terrible injury.
Well, certainly he's shown flashes of his brilliance so far this season. And his comeback with Ajax, he hasn't been rushed by Louis van Gaal, and I'm sure that Gus Hiddink is not going to rush him back and expect too much from him in his international comeback. The idea to perhaps start him on the bench, ease him back into international scene slowly. Here's Jonk. Pinter. All the way through there, Neville Southall. Well, if you're just joining us here on ESPN, this is the Road to World Cup 98. This is European Group 7. We're coming to you from the Philips Stadium in Eindhoven, where Dennis Bergkamp gave Holland the lead. And from that point on, it was all one-way traffic. Goals from Ronald de Boer, Wim Jonk, and Dean Saunders pulling one back for Wales before Frank de Boer scored on the stroke of half-time. And here at the Philips Stadium, we're just over an hour played now. It is the Netherlands 4, Wales 1.
Oh, that was cheeky by Seedorf, wasn't it? He tried to put it around the defender and then whack it, and it was just taken away from him just when he went to kick it.
Player full of confidence, Clarence Seedorf at the moment. It's been a good move for him from Sampdoria to Real Madrid. Now Bergkamp. Playing this one in and a touch on. Goal number 5. Philip Cocu gets the touch. It was set up for him by Dennis Bergkamp. And just the touch, Neville Southall is beaten yet again.
Cocu hasn't scored many international goals, only 7 appearances. This is going to be his second one, and he just barely gets a touch on it. Look at that, it just catches the inside of the post. Southall is stuck to the ground. You're going to see Bergkamp with the square across, and Cocu just gets a touch on it, Mike, enough to change the direction, and he puts another one on the board for the Orange. Look at that, everything goes in. Once things are going right for you, they all seem to break into the net, and this man scores his second international goal.
Came in the 61st minute. It is now the Netherlands 5, Wales 1. And a victory here because very you see Holland now going to the top of this group. Certainly the goal difference is going to start to favour them. Netherlands' next game, in fact, will be away to Belgium. Wales' next game will be at home to Turkey. Newman came off the referee. I've seen him for a Welsh shirt. Well,
it's interesting when you talk about shirts. I mean, they have the tradition of exchanging the shirts after the game, but Vinnie Jones says, no way, nobody's getting his shirt today. He's going to hold on to it.
Over the years, they've always been able to cause the occasional upset. They did in World Cup qualifying last time. They actually held Germany to a draw in Germany. And Robbie Gall was hoping that they might have caught the Dutch out today as well, but it was not to be the case. The Netherlands have really prepared well for this game. The players have arrived here in the good frame of mind. They lead by 5-1. Here goes Overmars. Plays that one square. And so close there to an own goal from Alan Nielsen. Well, Ronald Southall, not only has he had to put up with shots from the opposition, he's also now given some anxious moments from his own defenders.
Overmars is the man who just squares it across. Nielsen coming, just strokes the ball and it misses the post. He's very lucky he doesn't put it into his own net. But did you see how quick Overmars reacted to get to that ball?
Now Frank de Boer has come forward. Jonk with the corner. Wales again having trouble getting it clear. Seedorf switching it wide. Jonk. And again the ball just bouncing around that Welsh penalty area. There's nothing that Bobby Gall can do now. Only stand there and watch. Bergkamp. And Dennis Bergkamp will settle for the corner. Start of play that time by Mark Bowen. Plays his football for West Ham.
He hasn't had too many touches on the ball today, Mike.
Yonk again with the corner. This one curling in. Out of there, straight up in the air from Vinnie Jones. Oh, was having trouble getting the ball clear again. Seedorf. Over Miles.
Gareth Taylor's warmed up, waiting to come on for Wales. Not sure who they're going to take off, but he has many choices, hasn't he? There's a lot of players out there today that could be getting the call to come to the line.
There might be a few that would volunteer, actually, Tommy.
What an atmosphere, but
it's great atmosphere here in Eindhoven. This is a very good stadium, this Philips Stadium. Very compact. It's not usually used for the really big matches. They either go to Rotterdam or to the Amsterdam Arena now, as Clarence Seedorf got caught there. Still down on the ground, rolling in agony, as that one does come off with Neville Southall.
oh, Overmars trying to slip in again and slip it over Southall, but Southall stands his ground well.
Seedorf has still stayed down. Seedorf, who plays his football in Spain with Real Madrid, just caught there by Andy Melville.
You can just see Andy Melville coming from the back. He's lucky he doesn't get a card on that one. I mean, he kicks the player. A lot of referees would have taken exception to that one.
Kim Yong, besides scoring the goal, has been very much involved in setting up other goals, as we see the substitution made now for Wales with Gareth Taylor, the player that's coming on, plays for Sheffield United, and John Hartson is the player that's gone off. I suppose one could say that John Hartson's been a major disappointment, Tommy. He really hasn't been a factor in this game, has he?
He hasn't, although he was the only man that looked like setting anything up and did set that one goal up. I mean, there's a lot of players haven't been a factor, isn't there?
Kim Yong, corner hit to the far post. Dutch football this week here on ESPN. FC 20 against PSV Eindhoven. The league leaders, PSV Eindhoven, up against FC 20, who themselves are having a good season. We'll be able to see that tomorrow here on ESPN as we continue our coverage of Dutch football.
I suppose the only disappointment for PSV is that they were knocked out of Europe, Mike, this year. That's their big disappointment at the moment. They're playing so well in Holland.
And Clarence Seedorf there, just letting the ball run out of play. He's had enough, he wants off. And Pierre van Hooijdonk is the player who is going to come on. Seedorf really is in a hurry to get off. And van Hooijdonk isn't ready to come on at this stage.
Well, Seedorf took a nasty knock, and he knows there's a lot of games to be played yet, both in the Spanish league and in this league, so he's not taking any chances. He's done his job for today.
So when Hooijdonk comes on, Seedorf goes off. I'm just thinking, Tommy, I mean, if you get Hooijdonk in the centre forward channel, and you've now got Overmars and Cocu on the flanks, and you've got Dennis Bergkamp in the hole behind the striker. What a strike force you've got.
Oh, unbelievable. I mean, the way Hooijdonk scored those two goals in Cardiff, I mean, one flashing header. I mean, he got so much power behind it, and he has scored some brilliant goals for Celtic. You got to feel that if Overmars can feed the ball into the middle, Hooijdonk can do a lot of damage too.
At the moment, it's Wales trying to affect some damage on this Netherlands side. Mark Pembridge. At the near post from Vinnie Jones. And the header at the far post from Andy Melville. It's too high. Andy Melville, who plays up there in the northeast at Sunderland. A couple of goals already in World Cup qualifying. They did come admittedly though against San Marino.
Not sure what he was complaining to the referee about, but he found a bone of contention of some kind.
Still battling away, not making too many inroads. Now they play it wide. Here's Dean Saunders. Saunders there, just obstructed as he trying to go past Stam.
Oh, Saunders has so many moves in that bag of tricks of his, and but the only way you can really stop him is to foul him, but he hasn't got the supply of the ball today.
Oh, a flick header there and coming in at the far post. This man will get on the end of it was Kit Simons. But there was just a little bit of a lackness that time about the Dutch defence, Tommy.
Yeah, well, I guess if you're leading 5-1, Mike, you're not going to be playing with the same intensity as you are if it was 1-1. And Kit Simons just snuck his way in on the back post. Had he gotten a touch to the ball, he probably would have put it into the net.
Frank de Boer. Myonk. This is rising up. And the back header. 2-0 Southall. Of course, not far from here, over in Zurich this week. There's been some FIFA meetings about changes to the game, including the World Cup to be held in Asia. But one of the interesting points that's been brought up is to ban the back pass completely. At the moment, players, as you saw then, can just head it back or chest it back to the goalkeeper, and they can use their hands. As Mark Overmars. Well, shades of Mark Overmars from 12 months ago, Tommy.
Well, he was racing against speed. I mean, Gary's speed, but he was using his speed to ward off speed, and then he just clicks it over the keeper. Look at that. I mean, that's the Mark Overmars we know. He just doesn't get it on the target. If he gets it over Southall, right down the middle, Mike, it's going to go into an empty net. But a tremendous run by Overmars.
Yes, when he was injured, actually, last year, Tommy, he was one of the leading goal scorers in the Champions League, as well as the Dutch League. He just hit a really great patch of goal scoring.
Oh, I remember that game we did against Malta. He had a hat-trick in that one. And I mean, he looked like he's very capable of scoring goals. Once he breaks across into the middle, it's a new departure for him. But once he goes right down the middle, he has so much speed.
Nice. Nice one-touch play by the team from the Netherlands, which is certainly appreciated by this capacity crowd here at the Philips Stadium. Newman. Dennis Bergkamp makes it 6. You could see it coming, couldn't you, Tommy?
Oh, I mean, this was just delightful. There's 5 good touches on it, and now Bergkamp is only 7 goals behind the all-time leader as he notches another one and makes it look so easy. I mean, they just split the defense wide open. Couple of touches on the ball. Look at that little ball squared inside. Then when it's floated across into the middle, Bergkamp just runs in and he makes the touch on it. Wim Jonk is the man who's setting up the table. The ball squared across, nicely played into the middle, and tremendous finish. I mean, you just can't ask for anything better than that. Look at that. So you just sit back and you watch it and you marvel at how easy it is.
Dennis Bergkamp's second goal of the match. Set up for him there by Arthur Newman. It's his 27th international goal now. This is only his 51st appearance. It's now the Netherlands 6, Wales 1. And Bergkamp again sliding through.
Well, he would like to get on the end of that one. He would like to get the hat-trick now. That's the one thing they'll be looking for him. That's about the only thing he has left to get in this game, Mike.
Bobby Gould knows it's now a case of back to the drawing board.
Oh, Bobby goes through periods of where he shouts and shouts and shouts, and then he has that stiff silence. He doesn't say a word to anybody.
It has been a very impressive performance by the team in orange today.
Oh, you talk about that total concept of total football that the Netherlands introduced to the world. They're really playing it to perfection today, aren't they? I mean, you see Newman coming up. He was the man who made the cut into the box on the far side, and he actually set the goal up.
Here's Overmars, releasing it quickly. Chance for Bergkamp. Well, Bergkamp was free, but Van Hooijdonk took it himself. Just going to say, chance for Bergkamp to get his hat-trick because he was completely free. Van Hooijdonk...
Well, it's just played behind the defence. The flag stays down. Van Hooijdonk walks in. Suttle's coming out, and he just makes a nice save on him.
Pierre van Hooydonk, who scored in Cardiff with his first touch. And he repeated the
he should have.
Here.
He should have, Mike. He should have put that one away.
I thought he was going to just push it square. Bergkamp was screaming for it. Another shot coming in from a long way out and off target. Just under now, a quarter of an hour to play.
Frank de Boer got nicked. You're going to see what's going to happen here. Just coming in him, and he does nail him.
He's back on his feet and all right now. And leading Holland rather convincingly in this road to World Cup 98 European Group 7 encounter at the Philips Stadium in Eindhoven, where Dennis Bergkamp has scored twice. Ronald de Boer, Wim Jonk and Frank de Boer have been the goal scorers for Holland. Just one goal for Dean Saunders, and Philip Cocu also getting his name on the score sheet in the second half for Holland. It's the Netherlands 6, Wales 1, and it's like an orange tide coming down on Neville Southall's goal yet again. And Southall comes up with a marvellous one-handed save, keeps the scoreline at 6-1, denies Mark Overmars.
Well, Overmars would love to score today. You can see he has the defenders backing back. Kit Simons is backing away from him, and he just gets that rocket of a shot in. Gary Speed doesn't make contact, but the keeper does.
Yes, there of Tommy Smith with me today here in Eindhoven, and we've both been enthralled by this game as Wim Jonk, who for my money has had an outstanding game, delivers this corner in. He's been a hand in so many goals, Tommy.
Oh, I mean, he's just, he's led out there. I mean, it's very reminiscent of what Ruud Gullit used to do when he played the midfield for the Netherlands. I mean, he's just spread the ball around. He has great vision. He's done everything that's been required of him today, and a little more.
Reisiger goes across. Certainly the defence has looked a lot more stable with the return of Michael Reisiger. Certainly his pace at the back. Such a good covering player. As Wales come forward, and shot from Dean Saunders goes wide and high.
I'd say San Marino are enjoying watching this, Mike. They're one of the teams that the Netherlands are going to play very soon. The bus driver and the postman and the butcher, well, they better prepare. I think there's a long day coming.
Wales were able to get 11 past them in 2 games.
But you know, if you go back to Reisiger, I always felt that if Ajax had to have Reisiger last year in the Champions League final against Juventus, they would have won it. I mean, that goal that Ravanelli scored came from the spot where Reisiger would normally be, and I don't think it would ever have gone in.
Overmars. Wim Jonk tries to take the return there from Van Hooydonk. There, just poking that one wide. Here comes Cocu.
What a move.
Great move from Philip Cocu as he plays this one in. And Wales concede the corner.
I think those youngsters are happy.
Philip Cocu takes the corner quickly. Newman. And the shot. Goal number 7, and Bergkamp gets his hat-trick. Well, it's a long time since Neville Southall has conceded 7 goals.
Oh, I think this one takes a touch on the way into Mike. Bergkamp is the man who's going to fire it, but I believe you're going to hear the sound of it coming off a defender. Maybe we'll get an opportunity to see it again. I believe it touches somebody on the way in. Let me see if I'm right. There it is. Yeah, it goes off a defender, all right. But Bergkamp is going to get the credit for the goal. I believe it's going to come off Vinnie Jones. Is Vinnie Jones the man that hits? It is indeed. Changes the direction of the ball altogether. Ends up in the back of the net. Bergkamp just lines it up, and Vinnie Jones is the man who pushes it home.
I'm sure that Dennis Bergkamp is going to claim this one. Although certainly took a touch on the defender. Bergkamp, though, will say that that completes his hat-trick. It came in the 79th minute. It gives us a scoreline now of the Netherlands 7, Wales 1.
Well, he started off being 9 goals away from being the top scorer for Holland today, Mike, and now he has cut that down. He's only 6 goals away from it, and we still got a little over 11 minutes left in the game.
Giovanni Brockhurst there. Having some words with Gus Hiddink. Be brought on with just about 10 minutes left to play. The referee there just stopping that move and giving Wales a free kick where I think they prefer the advantage there, Tommy.
Yeah, they're probably, well, when things go bad, they really go bad, but they've gone very well for this man's side today.
Vinnie Jones.
He's saying the wall's not back far enough. Just kick the ball, Vinnie.
Yes, it's just that, Tommy.
One-man wall and he's complaining.
Well, the crowd here are singing "We Are the Champions." It's an anthem that's usually associated with Ajax Amsterdam. It's a long way to go in this road to World Cup. This is only the second qualifier for the Netherlands. And of course, another World Cup qualified from this group, and you'll be able to see that on Thursday when Turkey take on San Marino. Of course, the Netherlands will have to play both of those teams. In fact, Wales' next game will be at home to Turkey. You can see more World Cup 98 qualifying here on ESPN as Bergkamp just failed to get a touch that time. That could have been goal number 4.
Well, he certainly walked in behind everybody. He has the 3 of them already. And look at this, he just doesn't get the touch on it. You can see that if he gets the touch on it, could have been number 4.
Wim Jonk is going off and getting a great round of applause from his home crowd here in Eindhoven. He's had a great game. Giovanni van Bronckhorst is the player that comes on with just about 8 minutes left to play. The 21-year-old who made his debut against Brazil in a 2-2 draw back at the end of August. And this is just his 3rd international appearance.
Oh, that was a great story when he made his debut that day, because Brazil also have a player called Giovanni, and the two of them swap shirts, so he ends up with a Brazilian Giovanni shirt and a Holland Giovanni shirt.
This is the Giovanni from Brazil, who of course had such a great year last year in the Brazilian National Championship with Santos, now plying his trade with Barcelona, but getting overshadowed by another Brazilian there.
Yeah, certainly Mr. Ronaldo has put his best foot forward. Everybody's saying he's the next Pele.
Of course, Ronaldo, very well known at this ground, scored a lot of his goals during his stay in Holland, here at the Philips Stadium, playing for PSV, the local side. Newman there with the back pass.
Well, you begin to understand there's something about these players when you see this Van Bronckhorst. He's played with Feyenoord since he was 10 years of age, Mike, so he's had a long career already and he's still only a youngster.
He's 21.
He's had 11 years with Feyenoord.
He's already due for long service leave, isn't he?
That's for sure.
Michael Reisinger. Good one-touch play again. Here goes Overmars, but not even Mark Overmars at his pace can keep that one in. Well, that must be one of the most pleasing sights in Dutch football, to be able to see Mark Overmars back out there in an orange shirt. Also after that horrendous injury. He seemed to take so long to recover. There's always that doubt, even if they do recover, Tommy, are you going to come back, or are they going to come back to their very best form? I think Mark Overmars has already shown us this season with Ajax, and even the little bit we've seen of him here today, that he's going to be back to his brilliant best.
Well, I think the one thing that is really standing to him now, Mike, is that he has that turn of foot back. I thought the first couple of games I saw him, he was just a little bit slower. But I think that ball coming down the middle, as we watch a tough tackle here from Gareth Taylor on Jap Stam, but I felt that run that Overmars made down the middle, and then the one that he followed it with, looks like he's returning back to his best form.
Yes, and often it's not only just a physical thing, it's also a mental thing as well, isn't it?
Oh, psychologically, I mean, that's the big thing, is the confidence there.
Bergkamp floats that one in. All chested back to Neville Southall.
But there is the man in question, and I would say that he's answering a lot of questions, Mike, and the tougher this road to 98 becomes, the more involved he will be.
sure the rest of Europe will be taking a note of this performance from the Netherlands. They themselves who made the quarterfinals in Euro 96, but were very disappointed with their overall performance. Although they went out to France on a penalty shootout, a bit of a lottery that. But of course that humiliation at Wembley at the hands of England. Stories originating from the Dutch camp, discontent and everything. I think this is perhaps the best answer of all, Tommy, that they are back.
Well, they've really answered them back today, and I mean, this has just been a performance that, well, you just sit here and you look at it and you're happy to say that you saw it, because, I mean, at international level it doesn't happen too often, and it's just something to be a joy to watch.
Well, the band leader's going home, so at least the drummer is.
Well, the Indians are starting to circle the wagons, I think, by the looks of things.
Here come Wales. And just trying to play the ball inside that time to Dean Saunders. Didn't quite come off. Here's Vinnie Jones. And Saunders again. Jones got in there.
Sure, Ryan Giggs is saying it about this time. Why did I happen to be born in Wales?
Here comes Reisinger, Burkamp. As we come up with just over 3 minutes to go. Well, the Netherlands picked out the right place when they decided to play this World Cup qualifier here at Eindhoven, because stadium this season has seen a host of goals, while Ajax has struggled to score goals at the Amsterdam Arena. That's certainly not been the case here in the Dutch league. Of course, our regular viewers would have seen PSV put 7 goals past Feyenoord here, and then just over a week or so ago, PSV also went one better. They put 8 past Roda JC here. And we're used to seeing goals on this ground, but we didn't really expect when we arrived, Tommy, to see 8 goals scored here in a World Cup qualifier.
Maybe it's something that's in the grass.
I was going to say it was in the water, but you might be right, it's in the grass. Whatever it is, if you could transplant it around the world, make a fortune, Tommy.
Or I'd say he's not too happy with whatever it is, that's wherever it is.
On. Shot coming in. So close there to goal number 8. And Bronkhurst there shooting from outside the penalty area.
Well, he has the keeper beaten on the far side, and the ball just curls away. When it left his foot, it looked like it was en route to be in the back of the net, but it just kept curling away from the goal.
Into the final 2 minutes. A lot of the Welsh supporters and certainly the Welsh players are just looking forward to that final whistle. And Saunders.
There just might be something in that grass, Thierry, Mike. I understand that the folks around here love to take grass from this stadium, and they like to have a souvenir of it, so maybe it is the grass.
Well, we right, sorry, here's Gary Speed. Dennis Burkamp has scored a hat-trick here. He could take some of it back to Highbury with him.
The grass didn't help Vinnie Jones coming forward there. He doesn't get the ball near the target.
Arthur Newman. Lovely ball from Newman to his opposite number on the other side of the defence, Michael Reisinger.
But it's a departure the way they're playing over Mars today, Mike. They didn't slot him out wide on the wing like they normally. They slotted him out almost like an old inside right. He's one player off the wing, and it has worked out very effective for him, hasn't it?
Well, it does give him that opportunity that if he wants to go round the defender, he's usually got some space outside him, and as we've already seen, injury or no injury, he's still got the pace, and so's this man, Michael Reisinger. Here is Overmars. Now Saunders. Switching play to that far side. Here come Wales. As the 90 minutes is up, we're playing stoppage time, and Bergkamp just fractionally offside. Dennis Bergkamp, who has scored a hat-trick here today for the Netherlands.
Well, you've got to feel that if Arsenal are going to make a run at the Premiership, Mike, Bergkamp is going to be very much involved. So Arsenal will be very happy to see him performing like this.
Oh, Gus Hiddink showing no emotion, but he must be absolutely delighted. Celebrated his 50th birthday yesterday, and now sees his team a comprehensive victory.
Maybe we could get the band to play Happy Birthday for him, but it hasn't happened so far.
Overmars trying to float that one, looking for Dennis Bergkamp. A head back there to Neville Southall. Well, Neville Southall has been beaten 7 times. You'd have to say, Tommy, he really has been the hero for Wales, but that man's been the hero for the Netherlands.
Oh, there's no question about it. I mean, both men fit the bill very admirably. Southall made at least 10 world-class saves that would have beaten a lot of keepers. So, I mean, it could have been a very, very embarrassing day for Wales, only for Southall.
Well, there's going to be a presentation at the end of the game. Crowd staying right to the end, as we've now played over 90 seconds of stoppage time. Here's Vinnie Jones. Now speed. Vinnie Jones. Well, that pass went backwards. And that pass went straight to an opponent, Van Bronckhorst.
Oh, Van Bronckhorst has looked like he's going to be a likely player too. Another man who's going to be fighting for his place on this team, Mike.
Yes, and one player who's not been used today, Roy McKay, who plays for Vitesse. He actually scored 4 goals last weekend in the Dutch league. He scored them, in fact, in 21 minutes. Wasn't a record. That record in Holland is held by Marco van Basten, who scored 4 goals in about 14 minutes. But Roy McKay, who looked very impressive in Cardiff, hasn't been brought on for this game. But the players who were selected have done the job for the Netherlands. Dennis Bergkamp has got a hat-trick. Ronald de Boer also scored, and a goal from Wim Jonk. The lone goal for Wales came from Dean Saunders. And in the second half, Frank de Boer and Philip Cocu were the other scorers for the Netherlands. We'll stay with us here on ESPN. When we return, we'll have our post-match wrap as we continue our look at the road to World Cup 98. A comprehensive victory for the Netherlands. It finished the Netherlands 7, Wales 1. More after this.